Okay, 3.6. You're solving the equation for x. So solve the equation for x. Okay, I would make 8 boxes on your notebook paper for efficiency purposes. Okay, here's the first one. 6 plus 3x equals negative 18. So make the wall on the side of the x, okay? On the side of the equals. Circle the equals, make the wall on the x. So between 6 and 3 we have a plus. Between 3 and x we don't have a sign, so that means multiplication. Put a dot. And if you have multiplication or division, you want to circle it, okay? Now, you have to get this 6 here to a 0. If it doesn't have a sign in front of it, it's positive. The opposite of plus 6 is minus 6. Okay. Now go to the other side of the wall and then minus 6 from your negative 18. So 6 minus 6 is 0. So you cross that out. Now line up your equals, and you've got 3 times x. Negative 18 minus 6, so I take a negative 18 and subtract 6. So negative 24. Now, the opposite of times is to divide, so I need to divide. That means underline both sides, okay? Divide by 3. So these 3's can be crossed out, now I just have x. And then negative 24 divided by 3 is negative 8. Okay. Next problem, right next to it. Negative 3 plus 5x equals 12. Okay, so here's the equals. So between the 3 and the 5 we have a plus sign. Between the 5 and the x we have a times. So I want to circle the times. We have to get this negative 3 outside here to a 0. Okay? Whatever's outside the circle, we have to get to a 0. So to get from negative 3 to 0 on a number line, I would move forward 3, so that means add 3. Then add 3 to your 12. So line up your equals, and you have 5 times x. 12 plus 3 is 15. Okay, so 5 times what's 15? Well, we need to divide both sides then by 5. Okay, 15 divided by 5 is 3. Okay, next one. 7x plus 12 equals negative 23. So between the 7 and the x, there's be a multiplication sign. 7x means 7 times x. Between x and 12 there'd be a plus. So then I circle the 7 times x. Okay, you want to circle multiply. When you have times or divide, you want to circle it. And anything outside you have to get to a 0. So you have to get that 12 to a 0. So the opposite of positive 12, or to go from positive 12 to 0, I would need to go backwards. So I would subtract 12. So 12 minus 12 is 0. You cross it out because it's 0. And then 7 times x. And then negative 23 minus 12 is negative 35. Okay, so I keep that sign lined up. Okay, so the opposite of times, when I see times or divide, I need to do the opposite. So if I see times, I'm going to divide. Okay, so underline both sides because that means division, and place the 7, whatever numbers, times by x. Okay, so these 7's cancel because now that's just x by itself. Okay, negative 35 divided by 7 is going to be negative 5. Okay, next problem. X divided by 6 minus 3 equals 8. Okay, so here's the equals. So the x is on this side. Okay. So between x and 6, I have a division sign. So I want to circle the division, and then between the 6 and the x and the 3, I have a minus. Now this minus 3 outside, that is a negative 3, so just make it plus negative 3. Now how would you take a negative 3 to 0? You'd go on a number line. You'd go forward 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0. Because I'm going forward, I'm adding 3. So plus 3, plus 3. Negative 3 plus 3 can be crossed out because that's 0. Okay, then I've got x divided by 6, and 8 plus 3 is 11. So I've divided by, the opposite of divided by is to, so we see division, so we need to multiply. So I put a dot on both sides, and I put 6. So if I see division, I'm going to multiply. So then the 6's cancel, and then x equals 11 times 6 is 66. Okay, next problem, 13 equals 8 minus 5x. Okay. Okay, so here's the equals. The wall's on this side, so between 8 and 5 I have a minus. If I have a minus, I'm going to make it plus negative. And between the 5 and the x, there's no symbol, so there's no operation sign, so I put a dot. Okay. Now I want to circle the multiplication. Now outside the times, we have this 8. Now the 8's positive if there's no sign in front of it, so to take a positive 8 to 0, you go backwards 8, so minus 8, and go to the other side, minus 8. You go to the other side of the equals, the other side of the wall. So line up your equals. 13 minus 8 is 5. We have negative 5 times x. So x is still over here with the times. So if I see a times dot, I need to divide. Okay. It's underline each side, place your x, the factor that multiplies the x, so it would be negative 5. Okay, we can cross those out because now I just have the x factor, the x by itself. 5 divided by negative 5 is negative 1. Okay. Alright, next problem. 16 minus 3x equals 34. So the x is on this side. Okay. So between 16 and 3 we have a minus, so we're going to make that plus negative. Between the 3 and the x, then we have a times. If you have a minus, you want to make it plus negative. Okay, so I'm going to circle the times part, and then this outside number, we need to get that to a 0. So it's a positive 16. To get a positive number to 0, you go backwards on the number line. Because I'm at 16, but I got to go backwards to 0, so that means subtract. And I go to the other side. Never add or subtract to this. Okay, okay, line up your equals. You got negative 3 times x. And then 34 minus 16 is 18. So negative 3 times this number x equals 18. So if I see a times, I need to do the opposite, which is divide. But show your division. Show yourself drawing the lines and placing negative 3 underneath. So 18 divided by negative 3 is negative 6. Okay, next one, 15 plus x divided by 6 equals negative 21. So here's the equals. The x is on this side. So on this side is where I need to look at. Between 15 and x, I have a plus. Between x and 6, I have a division. So I'm going to circle the division like I do the multiplication. Okay, your 15 outside of there. Okay, make it positive. and you need to get that to 0. So to go from positive to 0, you go backwards. You minus 15. Now go to the other side of your wall of your equals and minus 15 from that number. Okay, you cross that out because it's 0. So x over 6 divided by 6, sorry. Then negative 21 minus 15 is negative 36. Okay, now I've still got the x divided by 6. So if I see that it's divided by, I need times. Okay, so I times by the 6. So then those cancel and I have just x by itself. A times 6 and a divide by 6 means the 6's go away. Then I take negative 36 times 6, that's negative 216. Okay, next one. Negative 19 plus x divided by 3 equals 8. So here's the equals, make your wall. Okay, between 19 and x we have a plus sign, that's okay. Between x and 3 we have a divided by, that's okay, but I want to circle the division part of it. Okay, so we have to get this negative 19 to a 0. Now if you're at a negative trying to get to 0, you're moving forwards, so that means add 19. Now go to the other side of the wall, other side of the equals, and add 19 to that number. So that's 0. So x over 3. 8 plus 19 is 27. Now I see divide, so I need to do the opposite of divide, which is to times. Okay. So times 3, 3. Okay, 27 times 3 is 81, so x equals 81. Okay, that concludes that page. Now I make 8 new boxes and go from there. So we have 2x plus 3 equals 15. So here's the equals. I make the wall. 2x means 2 times x, and then plus 3. Circle the multiplication. Circle the multiplication or division operation. But before we worry about that, we need to get that 3 to a 0. Okay, now it's positive 3, so I'm moving backwards 3. So I subtract 3, subtract 3. 3 minus 3 is 0, and line up your equals. So you got 2 times x. 15 minus 3 is 12. Okay. Then I divide. I see times, I divide then. Okay, so that means underline each side. That's how you express division. Put a 2 underneath. Now I have x equals, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay, now I'm going to start checking my answers. You don't have to do this on the assignment, okay? But I will show you why this works the way that it does. X divided by 2 plus 5 equals 18. Then I'm just going to copy the problem up here. And I'll be checking it, the answer in that one here. Okay, so I have x on this side, okay? So that's the side I'm looking at the operation. So we got x and 2 has a division line, and then 2 and 5, or x and 5 has a plus. So I circle the division part, but this outside number here, I've got to get that to a 0 by either adding or subtracting. Well, the 5 is positive, so I'd be going backwards, so I would subtract 5. Okay, what you do to this side, you got to do to this side. So 5 minus 5 is 0, so line up your equals. We have x divided by 2. 18 minus 15 is 13. Minus 5 is 13. Okay, so now I see divide, I times. So times by 2. Because it's the x we're trying to get by itself, and those 2's. Okay, 13 times 2 is 26. Now here's how you can check your answer. You can scribble out your x, put a 26. And I can take 26 divided by 2, it's 13. And then 13 plus 5 is 18. Okay. Alright, next problem. 15 equals 9 minus 3x. Okay, so we're on this side. 9 and 3 has a minus. Now, if you have a minus, you want to make it plus negative. Okay? 3 and x is a times. So you're going to circle the negative 3 times x. Now look outside, you have a 9. You have to take that 9 to 0. Okay? Here, I'm going to write the answer check. 15 equals 9 minus 3x. Okay? 9 we have to get to 0. So we go backwards 9. So that means I'm minus 9. Because it's positive 9. Now go under the 15 and minus 9. Line up your equals. You can cross that part out. So 15 minus 9 is 6. And over here we still have negative 3 times x. Okay, so I have a times. That means I divide. Okay, don't ever add or subtract the number that's times or divide. Okay, you see times, you divide. So underline each side and place a negative 3 underneath because that's the one with the x. Okay, so 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. And these can be crossed out and we have x. Okay, there's the answer. Now I can put negative 2 here, make my 3 plus negative, so I have plus and times. We need to times first. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6, and then 9 plus 6 is 15, so that answer works. Okay, next one, I've got 4 minus 5x equals negative 16. So here's the equal sign. The wall will be here. 4 and 5 we have a minus, make it plus negative. And then 5 and x, I don't have a operation sign, so I make a multiplication dot. Circle the multiplication part. But you have something outside this 4, okay? It's a positive. You have to take that number to 0 to get it off that side. So if I'm at positive 4, I'd move backwards 4. So minus 4, minus 4. So line up your equals. You have negative 5 times x. And then negative 16 minus 4 is going to be negative 20. Now you see times, so you need to divide. Okay? Show your work though, don't just divide the numbers. Okay, place your negative 5, and now x is by itself. I have to get rid of all operations around the x. 20 is not with the x, so I'm not trying to operate on that. Negative 20 times negative 5 is 4. Okay, next problem. Negative 9 plus x divided by negative 5 equals negative 5. And I'll do a check on this one. I didn't on the last one. If I check every single one, it's going to take forever. Okay, 9 and x, I got a plus sign. X and negative 5, I have the division operation, so I circle the division. Okay, so on this side, I don't care about the negative 5, okay? Negative 9, that's we got to get rid of that. So we got to go from negative 9 to 0. So negative 9 to 0 is forward 9, so plus 9. Go to the other side and plus 9 to your negative 5. So line up your equals. Negative 9 plus 9 to 0, and we have x divided by negative 5 still. Negative 5 plus 9 is 4. So I keep the division circled, and if I have division, I need to times. Okay. by the negative 5, since that's what I'm trying to get rid of. So x, 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. Okay, now to check your answer, you replace your x with negative 20. You divide first, okay? So negative 20 divided by negative 5 is 4. Then we take negative 9 plus 4 and make sure that equals negative 5. It does. Okay, so I did it right. Okay, negative 5x plus 2 equals 12. So the x is on this side. So 5 and x is times. Circle that. And then plus 2. We have to take that 2 to a 0. Okay. The number that's not multiply, not part of the times or divide, we got to take that to 0. Go from 2 to 0, you go backwards 2. So minus 2, minus 2. 12 minus 2 is 10. I got negative 5 times x. Now I see a times, so I am going to divide. So divide means underline both sides. Place your negative 5 underneath. Okay, so those cancel. 10 divided by negative 5 is negative 2. Okay, next up, x divided by negative 3 plus 12 equals 2. So x and negative 3, I have a division, means divided by, and then I've got plus 12. So we have to take that number outside to 0. So we go from positive 12 to 0, I would minus 12. I'd be going backwards. So x divided by negative 3. Meanwhile, on the other side, 2 minus 12 is negative 10. Okay, now I see divide, I need to times. So times by negative 3. Okay, line up your equals, you have x, negative 10 times negative 3 is 30. Okay. Alright, next one, negative 7 plus 4x equals 21, last problem. So 7 and 4 is a plus, 4 and x, there's no sign, so that's multiplication. Circle the multiplication. You've got to take that number to 0. Okay, to go from negative 7 to 0, we move forward 7, so I plus 7. And then plus 7 to this number on the other side, 21. 0, I have 4 times x. 21 plus 7 is 28. So 4 times x is 28. I need to do the opposite of times, which is to divide. So 4 and 4. 28 divided by 4 is 7.